Good morning, students. Welcome to Good Samaritan School online classes. In the last class, we discussed on reactivity series of metal. What are reactivity series of metal? It is the arrangement of metal in a vertical column in the decreasing order of the reactivities, and you should know the importance of reactivity series of metal and what are the most reactive metal and what are the medium reactive metals and also the least reactive metals. And you have to memorize each and every metals which is given here according to the decreasing order or increasing order of these metals. And also yesterday we discussed on some of the questions which is given on page number 46, right? And it's very important for us to discuss like this. Okay, today we are going to learn another topic, and that is very important for us. How do metals and non-metals reacts? When we learn the reactivity series of metal, you see that many metals are not react in the same way. You saw the reactions of the metals with a number of reagents. Why do metals react in this manner? Because some metals they react very fast, like a sodium, potassium and all, you need not to do anything. But some metals we need to initiate the reaction. But some metal, even you try to keep on initiating, it doesn't work because they are very least reactive metals. Okay, anyway, but what is the goal of these metals first? What is a very important goal? If you look at noble gases, if I want to show you about the noble gases have a goal. That means they are having the last shell completely filled. This is what we learned in the 9th standard. You all know electronic configuration, am I right? Electronic configuration. What is electronic configuration? Electronic configuration is the arrangement of electrons in the shell. Okay. If you talk about noble gases and their electronic configuration, the last shell of all the noble gases are completely filled. Take an example of helium. Helium atomic number is 2. The first shell, only 2 electrons can be supported, right? This is nucleus, and the first shell 2 electrons are there, and that means it is completely filled. What about argon? They have 18 is the atomic number. The electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8. That means 2 in the K shell, 8 in the L shell, M in the M shell we have 8 electrons. How it is arranged? It is arranged like this. That means this is the nucleus. The first shell 2 electrons. The second shell they have 8 electrons. And in the third shell also you're going to have 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means you look at the last shell completely filled. That means that is the reason all the noble gases have 0 valency. Am I right? That means they need not to get any electron, borrow any electron, and also they need not to give any electron to someone. That means they all we name them as noble gases are also said to be inert gas. That means no reaction at all. They inert. That is why they name as a noble. That means they all have a completely filled configuration. The last shell is completely filled. Octet. That means they are completely filled. They need not to worry about the reaction, how we can attain the octet configuration, how can we satisfy their shells. No need to worry. But metals are all not like that. Take some metals, example sodium. They have atomic number 11. If you take the electronic configuration of sodium, it is 2 in the first shell, K shell, 8 in the second shell, and 1 in the third shell. That means in K shell 2 electron, L shell 8 electron, and M shell only 1 electron. You look at it, they are not completely filled. That means the last shell is having 1 electron. So how these metals will do, what the metals will do, metal try to give this 1 electron to someone. What happens if it gives someone this 1 electron? It becomes 2 and 8. Where is the 1? It given to someone. And after giving that 1 electron, what reward that sodium is going to get? It is going to attain that plus sign. It means sodium attaining that plus sign, it means they are cations. In other words, they donate. In other words, they lose electron. Will you understand that? Same you can say for another example, I can say magnesium. Atomic number is 12. Electronic configuration is 282. How many electron that magnesium have to lose to attain octet configuration? Yes, of course, they need to lose 2 electron. Then only they become octet configuration. After losing the 2 electron, what magnesium will have? They have 2 and 8. And what is the last shell? How many electron in the last shell? 2 electron. Sorry, 8 electron. That means magnesium now attain that positive sign. Not only plus, they got 2 plus. What it means 2 plus? Because it loses 2 electrons. Sodium, I have written only 1 plus for sodium. Why? Because it loses only 1 electron. Will you understand now? This is what the metals will do. They lose an electron or donate an electron to someone. What about non-metals? Take some examples of non-metals, like an oxygen. Oxygen atomic number is 8. Electronic configuration is 2 and 6. First shell 2 electron, then the second shell 6 electron. You think that octet configuration means the last shell should need 8. That means 8 hona chahiye. But here you have only 6. So what this oxygen will do now? They need to gain some electrons from some other. Right? So once it is gaining some electrons from some other, how many electrons it needs to form an octet configuration? Yes, it needs 2 more electrons. So I write 8 here after getting 2 electrons. After it is getting 2 electron, it become 8. So what is the oxygen is going to get now? Oxygen, because it's gained some electron someone, so it becomes 2 minus. Why it is 2 minus? Because it gains 2 electron from someone. Now tell me one question. Sodium atomic number 11. That means proton is also 11 and electron 11 only. But after it loses an electron, proton become 11 only, it remains 11, but electron become 10. Right? Because it loses an electron. 2 plus 8 is 10. What about magnesium? The same thing. Proton is 12. Electron is also 12 before that. But after, what happens? Proton remains 12, but electron become? Yes, 10. Because it loses 2 electron. But what about in oxygen? First they have 2 plus 6, 8. Number of proton is 8. And electron is also 8. But after gaining an electron, what it happens? Proton remains 8. Electron become 10 now. That means this oxygen gains 2 electrons. Okay, this concept I want everyone to understand. So what type of thing is happening here? Right. So there is a gaining and giving. That means giving and gaining policies are going on here. Right. So to make these two, for example, if I want to combine sodium with oxygen or sodium with chloride, sodium is positive. That means sodium is a metal and it needs to combine with a non-metal. Right. So there is a bonding which needs to be combined. दोनों को जोड़ने के लिए एक bond चाहिए, right? If someone needs to attach this metal with a non-metal, they need a bond. Bond means some kind of an attachment. Okay, what type of bond is that? That is what we are going to learn now. So if I talk about bond is classified into two different types of bonds. One is electrovalent, in other word, ionic bond. In other word, there is another type of bond is there called covalent bond. We will discuss more on covalent bond in the 4th chapter. So not now, but we are going to discuss more about ionic bond now. What is ionic bond? If I want to say simply about these two things, in ionic bond, metals is going to react with a non-metal. But what is that happening? Metals are going to give electrons and non-metals are going to gain electrons. Will you understand the difference between that giving and gaining? Metal will give an electron to whom? Non-metal. And non-metal is going to gain an electron from metal. Okay, this is what giving and gaining policies, giving and getting policies will be there in the ionic bond. But in covalent bond is not like that. If always you can see electrovalent bond or ionic bond takes place between metal and non-metal. But here covalent bond always takes place between non-metals and non-metals. So what they do actually is they both will share their electrons. What they do, non-metal, you also give an electron, I will also give my electron. So both they combine to form a bond. Will you understand now? Right, this is the basic about ionic bond and the covalent bond. Let's do one example of ionic bond and then we will discuss about that. Let's take an example of sodium is going to combine with chlorine. Okay, when sodium and chlorine combines, it becomes sodium chloride. Everyone knows this. Okay, and here we are going to discuss how these two are going to combine. Let's take an example of sodium. Sodium, they have an atomic number 11, right? Sodium atomic number is 11. And what is the electronic configuration of sodium? First shell 2, second shell 8 and the last shell 1. What will happen? What the sodium will do is sodium loses an electron and it becomes Na plus because it loses an electron. After losing an electron, it becomes 2 and 8 only because one electron is going out. In this can be written in other way also. If you want to understand, I will write another way. Sodium loses, that means negative, loses an electron and become Na plus. If you want to write whatever you likes, you can write. That means sodium 281 electronic configuration and it loses an electron and become 2,8. What the chlorine will do now is chlorine Cl is gaining one electron, plus represents addition of electrons and it become Cl minus. What is Cl minus? Why this minus is coming? Because chlorine is having 287. Chlorine atomic number is 17. First shell 2, second shell 8 and third shell is 7. That means A 17. After after gaining one electron, it becomes 2, 8 and 8. Will you understand? Now we'll see how this picture wise how we'll see how what is happening here. Sodium first shell 2, second shell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and the last shell they have only one electron. This is for sodium. What about chlorine? This is chlorine nucleus 2 electron in the first shell, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 in the second shell, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 in the last shell. That means this is chlorine, 2 8 1 2 8 7. This one electron which is present in the last shell, sodium, is going to give that electron to chlorine. Okay, so now what happens? Yes, after it gains, it becomes like this. Sodium, I'm going to write only the last shell here. One electron the sodium is going to have, the one electron in the last shell, 2 8 1. What the chlorine is going to have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 electron in the last shell, and this sodium is going to give one electron to chlorine, right? And it becomes Na plus. Why this sodium is going to get Na plus? Because it gives one electron, it loses one electron, so it attains the plus sign. And what the chlorine is going to get? Cl. Already they have 7 electron. 7 electron, I am writing it as into sign, and one dot, it comes from sodium. Okay, and it becomes negative. Will you understand? This is what the representation of how a sodium is losing an electron and how chlorine is gaining electron, and it becomes an ionic bond, and there is an ionic bond is formed between them because one loses and another gains. And this is how the sodium chloride formed. Hope you understand this clearly, right? And I am going to give you an example, a problem which is given in your book itself, and I want to give you as an homework. Write down here. I'm going to write it here. For magnesium chloride, you are going to make the structure like this, and also the formula like this, ionic formula. This is what ionic formula. So you're going to write an ionic formula and also the equation like this for magnesium chloride. So this is going to be your homework. Understand, student? Okay. And if you further have any doubt on this topic, please ask me through my WhatsApp number, and in the next class we are going to discuss on the properties of ionic compounds. Is it okay, student? Okay. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.